All right, I have an announcement to make. I agonized over this. I've decided I am no longer going to intentionally mispronounce people's names. I've been doing a lot of soul searching, a lot of agonizing for a while now. For years, if there was someone I didn't respect in a small, silly way, I would show that by mispronouncing their names, just poking fun a little bit because I believed they deserved scrutiny. I don't want to take myself too seriously. I've always believed in humor to highlight absurdity, but I think something has shifted. And some of you have written to me about it. We now have people like Tulsi Gabbard, who I would sometimes refer to as Toolsy, potentially going to be the director of national intelligence. She, I know, has former staff from when she was a congresswoman who would watch this show, who follow what I say. I'm not just kind of like cracking jokes into the void. There are people in the circles of some of the folks whose names I mispronounce that follow the show. And I do think that although it's going to be difficult, I'm going to have to reprogram myself from saying Toolsy to say Tulsi. I do think it's probably the right thing at this point. So I'm going to make an effort. No more Tulsi Gabbard. No more Jimmy Dore. No more Laura Ingraham. When I first started kind of mocking their names, it felt like a clever shorthand just to kind of signal I don't buy into their brand of nonsense. But I'm realizing now the show is not at a place where I think that that makes sense. And I want to focus on policy. There's a reason that Tulsi Gabbard should not be DNI. And it's that she seems more sympathetic to the desires of Russia than what's better for the United States. She seems to sympathize more with Bashar al-Assad than Bernie Sanders in terms of what makes sense from a governance standpoint. So I don't want to turn their names into a punchline. I might reserve the right to still do Trump, because remember, sometimes Trump mispronounces his own name, like when he called himself President Prump. So I may occasionally do that, but I don't respect these people any more than I used to. But I think it's the time to move on from the mispronunciations. Let me know what you think. info@davidpakman.com. Leave a comment here. I guess if there's rage and fury and people want the mispronunciations, I'd reconsider, but I don't think so. I think this is the path forward and very relevant because after the break, we will be talking about the latest bombing, not a literal bombing, just like a failure, by Tulsi Gabbard when meeting with senators. Well, I wrote a book after a long journey and a ton of work. I am really thrilled with how it turned out, and I hope you'll read it. The book is called The Echo Machine, and in a nutshell, it looks at how American politics got so broken, who has already figured out solutions, and how we can try to fix it and stop the terror of Trump for the next 4 years. With Trump winning this election, The Echo Machine couldn't be more relevant, not only a warning about how we got here, but also about what might be coming and how to prevent the worst outcomes. We've got to stay engaged. We need a plan, and that's what the book is about. There's a belief out there that unless you have corporate media behind you, you can't have a successful political book launch, that it's not possible. I think we can prove that wrong. Order The Echo Machine today at davidpakman.com/echo on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Audible, Kindle, anywhere that books, ebooks, and audiobooks are sold. You can also call any local bookstore and say, please order me The Echo Machine by David Pakman. Wherever you get the book, you'll get the free pre-order perks, including the signed book plate. Head to davidpakman.com/free book stuff after ordering.